And we begin the program with Senator Joseph Lieberman of Connecticut. Senator, thank you for being with us.
Al, great to be with you.
On Thursday night, a deal was cut where President Obama promised to classify embarrassing photos of torturing detainees so the public wouldn't see, they wouldn't be public. Are you satisfied?
Yeah, I'm satisfied for now for two reasons. One is I appreciate the President's commitment to do everything within his power, legislatively and administratively, to block these photos from ever seeing the light of day, because he's concluded, based on what our military commanders, Petraeus, Odierno, have told him, that it would endanger American troops to put these pictures out and achieve nothing. But Senator Graham of South Carolina and I are still going to ask our colleagues to do what we think would best assure that these pictures are never released, which is to pass legislation as soon as possible excuse me, that would guarantee that that would be the case. And now the important thing is we got a consensus here. A majority of both houses and the President of the United States agree the release of these photos would endanger the safety of American military personnel.
Your former colleague and friend, Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan, grew to despise classifications and keeping things secret. He said the public really can take these things, and after Abu Ghraib and everything, do you really think that this would be anything new and that would hurt the public?
I do. Here's very important that you referred to Abu Ghraib, because the pictures that we saw from Abu Ghraib were so shocking and unacceptable that they led to curative action, legislation, the Detainee Treatment Act, prohibiting any behavior like that, making it illegal. President Obama, I think on the second day in office, issued an executive order to strengthen that position. So what we're saying is that the release of these photographs will create such anger in the Muslim world and be used by terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda to recruit new members, as they did after Abu Ghraib. Second, it would endanger our troops.
President Obama's speech to the Muslim world in Cairo a week or so ago, your take?
I thought it was a very significant step forward overall. Look, what this is all about is the hearts and minds of the Muslim world. I think President Obama is uniquely positioned to reach out in that way, and I'm pleased that he did it. My guess is he opened some minds in the Muslim world.
Some Israelis resent that he created what they claim was an equivalency between Palestinian violence and Israeli territorial expansion.
Yeah, I don't know that he did that exactly, but I will tell you that I thought the focus on the President's direct call in that speech in Cairo for the Israelis to freeze all settlement activity, including the natural growth of settlements that everybody agrees are no longer settlements, they're cities, they're going to remain in any two-state solution. I thought that was risky in the sense that it may lead listeners to believe that the main reason there's not an Israeli-Palestinian peace agreement is the Israeli settlement policy. The Israelis could freeze settlements altogether today, and there wouldn't be peace between Israel and the Palestinians. Why? Because half of the Palestinians live under the rule of Hamas, which is a terrorist group that wants to destroy Israel and is against a two-state solution.
Do you disagree then with the President and Secretary Clinton that there ought to be a freeze, no growth in those settlements now?
I do. I disagree. I think that clearly some of those outposts should be brought down, but that within the existing major population centers over the so-called Green Line, it's just wrong to expect them not to expand.
On domestic issues, you've been a big supporter of climate change legislation. As you know, a bill has moved through a House committee. Could you support that bill, and do you expect there will be Senate action this year?
Yeah, I could support the bill. I think it's a great act of legislative leadership, particularly by Chairman Henry Waxman and Ed Markey. It's going to be hard in the Senate, but I think the House has shown us now by bringing this bill out of committee how it can be done. It's pretty clear that the key here ought not to be partisan. It's really how do we reassure people from states that get a lot of their electricity from coal-burning power plants that we can make this change without skyrocketing the cost of living and the cost of doing business.
And how about health care? Big debate now over whether there'll be a public option. What's your view on that, and can that fly? Can a public option as part of a health care plan fly in the Senate, and will the Senate act on it?
Yeah, I think we have a unique opportunity, a real opportunity to do this year, what we've been trying to do for years, which is to reform American health care. I don't favor a public option, and I don't favor a public option because I think there's plenty of competition in the private insurance market. Also, politically, we're in reach in the Senate of a pretty good bipartisan majority in favor of universal health insurance, health care reform. The one thing that will stop that is pressure on the so-called public option. Let's get something done instead of having a debate.
Final domestic issue you've been involved with. The Obama administration is going to roll out its re-regulatory reform next week. Not a whole lot of consolidation. Is it sufficient?
Well, I'll wait and see, but I think this is the moment coming off of the terrible economic crisis that we've been in, which everyone agrees is caused, at least in good part, by the shortcomings of our existing regulatory system. This is the moment to really achieve genuine reform. Don't just put another layer of regulation on top of the existing regulation. And to me, that means consolidation of existing regulatory...
So they're not going far enough.
I'm worried that the administration is not going to go far enough. I hope Senator Susan Collins, my ranking Republican member, and I are going to put out a report on this before Congress, Senate takes it up, and we're going to push for real consolidation.
Final question. Last year on Meet the Press, you said Barack Obama is, quote, not ready to lead this country. After 5 months under the Obama presidency, how would you rate him as a leader?
Well, I was worried that he wasn't ready to lead the country based on relative lack of experience and not a real record of bipartisanship as compared to John McCain, who I supported. But put me down now as pleasantly, I don't know if I should say surprised, but encouraged by the first 5 months has it been already of the Obama administration. I think he's been strong, particularly on foreign policy. I think President Obama is off to a very, very good start at a very difficult time in our nation's history. But as I said to him the other day, Mr. President, is your fortune or misfortune to have been elected at a very tough time in our history, but tough times really make great presidents, and he has the opportunity to be a great president.
Senator Lieberman, thank you for being with us.